Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome to the show, guys. Joseph Robert, the fantasy football counselor. Here we are with the virtual tailgate, FTFN network. If you're not following the page, make sure you follow the #1 sports news page from all of the top ambassadors. Guys, these guys are the best of the best for every team. They know the team. They give you a real, true analysis. Love these guys. Great personalities. And what we do here Sunday is we battle it out. 4 minutes per ambassadors, matchup versus matchup. It's like taking two spiders, putting them in a jar and shaking it up. That's the kind of nice way we put it here. But I'm excited, guys. Football's here, week 2. We're going to talk a little bit of fantasy football. I'm going to be talking with a little bit of a fantasy spin this stuff. But let's get to it, guys. Let's roll with the first. Well, we're going to start with the 1 o'clock games. But the first guys I want to get on here are Nick with the 49ers versus the very crippled Jets. What is going on, guys? So let's put those guys on. Let's start off with Nick.
What's going on, guys? What's going on, Joe? What's up, Faithful? What's going on, Ian? I see you, buddy. Hey, look, man, you said that the very crippled Jets, right? But the Niners are crippled also, man. We're down Richard Sherman this week. We're still down Deebo Samuel, obviously, on the IR. Looks like D Ford with neck spasms isn't going to be playing either. But the guy that is going to be active this week, and I'm really interested in the Kyle Shanahan system, is Mohamed Sanu.
How about Ayuk, too? Ayuk, right?
Brandon Ayuk
is
active again. Ben Garland, our center, is back as well. Looks like our offensive line is going to be getting back together. And, you know, obviously it was dismal, really bad play in week 1. Looking forward to this game, man. No Jamison Crowder, no Richard Sherman. It should be fun.
What do you got to say about that, Jets? I mean, you guys don't have to have a receiver. Crowder, who let in targets. What's going on, Ian? Ian in the house, or we lost him? He's there. He's in the car. Ian, you there? Trying to connect with Ian. He's in the car. I see him, but he's not connecting.
He looks frozen.
Yeah, Ian's frozen. I guess his connection's off. All right, so anyone want to chime in on the Jet? I'm going to chime in on the Jets, though, to cover him for him. He looks like he's frozen. My goodness. All right, so where are you, Nick? Nick,
what's up, buddy? I'm here.
Nick, okay, so in regards to Jets, man, I think you got this. I don't see any viable way that the Jets win this matchup. I mean, offensive weapons, there's nothing there. I mean, Darnold, as much as you want to criticize him, how do you criticize a guy that's got no weapons?
Yeah, you know, the biggest thing this week is that I'm looking forward to us doing is getting back to getting after the quarterback. Last week, obviously, the Niners defense doesn't play as well against teams that have mobile quarterbacks. We are back to a pretty similar a pretty much pocket quarterback in Sam Darnold. I'm looking forward to that matchup between Mekhi Becton and Nick Bosa. Should be a fun matchup to watch today,
right?
With D Ford being out the other side. But yeah, man, I think, look, Kyle Shanahan in his tenure as a head coach has never scored more than 17 points in week 1. He scored 20 last week. Look for this offense to get going this week and Jimmy Garoppolo to have a big game as well.
Yeah, man, I'm excited about the 49ers actually coming out of this little mini slump, I would say, man, but they got a must win here for the 49ers. I mean, I can't believe last week it slipped away. Before I let you go, and I appreciate you being here, make sure you guys follow Nothing But Niners. These guys know 49ers better than probably the 49ers themselves. So, man, I mean, is there anything, why did they lose last week? I mean, what happened? Real quick.
Look, last week, when any football team when you're 0 for 11 for third down conversions going into a third or fourth quarter, it's going to be very, very hard to win the game. Look, our defense was gassed last week. Our offense couldn't produce anything. We left a lot of points on the board. Jimmy Garoppolo not seeing reads that were open, whether he was going through his reads too fast or just not fast enough. Look for the offense to jump back this week. Obviously, we get Brandon Ayuk back this week, Mohamed Sanu. So those are two big playmakers that could help on the outside, as well as Raheem Mostert in the run game being able to get efficient. But last week, we just gassed our defense by not being able to convert on offense. So if we can get that offense going, defense stays prepared and ready to go and amped up, this shouldn't even be a game.
All right, guys, make sure you click below, FTFNnetwork.com. If you haven't bookmarked the site, go do it and follow Nothing But Niners there under the 49ers page. Thanks, Nick. We appreciate you as always. All right, everybody keeps asking. Everybody keeps saying it. I keep hearing it all the time. I hear this all the time. I get DM'd. They want Big Cat for president. I mean, I see it. Do you guys see it? So let's talk. We got the Buccaneers versus the Panthers. What is going on? Let's start off with, How about Big Cat? What's going on, Big Cat? Where are you?
Upset alert, here it comes. Mateys, we're going down to Tampa Bay and we're going to take Tom Brady's booty. We're going to rob him of that treasure, that elusive W. Let me tell you something. Upset City is coming to Tampa Bay and you guys should be nervous. Chris Godwin is out due to concussion issues. Donovan Smith has injuries that he's battling through. And then Mike Evans is playing with one hamstring. Oh, I love it.
Hold on.
Tom Brady can't carry a team no more with his dead arm. He has a dead arm. Come on, let's not play.
Hold on a second. Liam, are you going to take this for a second? Liam, what kind of bullshit is this?
Have a dead arm. Tom Brady does not have a dead arm. He was throwing dimes last week. The Panthers aren't going to get nearly as much pressure.
Well, let's ask Janoris Jenkins about that dime that he threw. Let's ask him about that pick six. I think he threw it pretty good. You're right.
No, it's not happening this week. He's going to turn it around. That defense of Carolina doesn't hold it. They're nothing to New Orleans. Nothing.
Look. Bottom line is cute. Listen, we are Tom Brady goat lovers. I mean, Jock Strap sniffer. But look, at the bottom of the day, bottom line is this team is wounded. They don't have chemistry. Tom Brady is a system quarterback. Bruce Arians are not on the same page. Bill Belichick is looking right about now. Tom Brady's over the hill. He's done. The Panthers are going to upset these guys at their home. Tampa Bay probably won't make the playoff after this loss.
No one in the NFL shut down Christian McCaffrey better than the Bucs last year. Both games, Christian McCaffrey's worst game, yards per carry, was against the Bucs. 16 for 37, 22 for 31. Shut him down, make Teddy Bridgewater throw, create turnovers, get in his face. Tom Brady is going to have a better game today. I guarantee it, even without Chris Godwin. Scotty Miller's going to step up.
Okay.
Big day for Tom Brady.
So you're expecting us to get beat with wounded ass, old ass Ron Gronkowski and OJ Howard? Is that your you think gonna be Scotty Miller? Who's his name? Scotty Pippen. Who was his name? Scotty Pippen.
Scotty Miller.
Nah, I don't know him. I don't know that guy. I know Scotty Pippen.
Yeah, who is this? Who is this wide receiver? Who is this Scotty guy? Where the fuck did he come from? Seriously.
4.3 40. The guy has blazing speed.
I don't care who he is. You've got Evans and Godwin. Who the fuck is Scotty? Like, get the fuck off the field.
Yeah. Oh, I know him. He was in the concession stands last year.
Yeah,
I know him personally.
Hold on a second. I've made fun of the Buccaneers, but what the fuck is McCaffrey doing? He's spending all his time modeling. I don't think he's got time to play football.
Come on, Joe. Don't be Joe. Hold on. Come on, be honest with me.
Hold on. Do I look like him now? Hold on. Hold on. Let me get my lips up.
You looked good though. You looked good. Cowboy boots, baby oil.
I gotta get my Christian McCaffrey look. How about I need the little bow tie or whatever the fuck that bow ribbon was. Listen, man, I hope he's focused on football because that GQ shit, man. Get back on the fucking field.
Blame that shit on Cam Newton. He got that shit from him. That's where that shit came from.
That I can agree with from Big Cat. That I can agree with.
All right, so who's winning? Two questions for you guys. Who's winning this game? Unbiased. Who's winning this game? And is Big Cat? How do I vote for you? Because I want you to be president.
Hashtag Grande Gato for president. Hashtag Big Cat for president.
You got my vote.
Write me in on the ballot.
I mean, that's the type of intensity we need. We need that type of realism at president for sure.
So you need that Viagra intensity.
There we go.
I'm gonna bring it to you hard and raw.
All right, let's move on here. We got to move on to the Titans and the Jags. Let's move on. We've got what do we got? Mark, what's going on with the Titans?
Well, we got a little bit of an issue with A.J. Brown being out. Right now we're monitoring Malcolm Butler. If he's out, then him and Jackson are out, our two top corners. But again, we got Derrick Henry, and the Jags have not stopped him, I don't think, ever. So we still got him and Tannehill, so we'll roll the dice. And Corey Davis, man, he went over 100. I told you last week against the Broncos, look for Corey Davis to go off this week, even if it is against C.J. Henderson.
Listen,
looked really good.
Our Jags rep is not here. Les Brochmo, if you are in here, come on. But I don't think he's here today. But I mean, Corey Davis, I think that might be. I'm gonna speak for the Jags. I'm very well versed on every team offensively for that much anyway. But I mean, finally, like, is this a breakout year for Corey Davis, or like, what are we expecting here?
Well, if he doesn't, I don't, he's playing for, he's not the typical guy who's going to be playing for money. I don't think he's a quiet, soft-spoken guy, but he works hard. And if you look at it, it's injuries with him. I know he still has a little bit of a hamstring issue that has even plagued him his rookie year. But with Corey Davis, he doesn't never got a lot of opportunities. And when he did, he's shown up. If you look at the Patriots a couple of years ago, he went off on Gilmore, which nobody goes off on Gilmore unless you play for the Dolphins, I guess. But for the most part, I think Corey Davis, him and Jonnu Smith are going to be the only viable options. I mean, are you going to put a lot into Nick? I can't even think of his last name. Westbrook or whatever his name is. I mean, a practice squad guy bringing him up. So
yeah,
again, there's not a lot of options for Ryan Tannehill today. Khalif Raymond didn't show up last week. He dropped 2 passes. Adam Humphries reliable, but he's a short down yardage guy. So yeah, it's going to all fall on Davis. And I think Jonnu Smith, and a key name to look out for is Anthony Firkser. He's the second tight end, but he's basically like a wide receiver playing tight end.
Man, I mean, okay, so my question is stacked boxes this week. I mean, with A.J. Brown out, is Henry going to be, he's going to see stacked boxes, no doubt about it, right?
Yeah, and the thing with Henry is he went over 30 carries, which is not ideal for him to start the season. Playoff time, fine. We don't, the guy we drafted from App State, the backup running back, which it looks like the Jaguars had a very tough time stopping the screen. 17 receptions last week for over 140 some yards against the Colts. Colts did not punt one time. Phillip Rivers seemed to be the issue, throwing a couple picks there in crunch situations.
Right.
But again, Evans can't go today, Joe. So there's no backup running back. It's the McNichols guy who got like 1 touch and his helmet ripped off last week against Denver and kept running. So give the guy credit. But for the most part, it's going to be the Henry show again.
All right.
Look for him to go 30 plus again.
Make sure you start him, man. They're going to run him to the ground. All right, Mark, as usual, pleasure. He is the Titans ambassador, FanToFanNetwork.com. Bookmark the page. All right, let's move on here. Let's go with the Giants and the Bears. Our Giants rep is off today, but what's going on with the Bears? I'll speak for the Giants a little bit.
What's going on, Joe? Look, we're flying high right now, 1-0. You know, Mitch Trubisky with that comeback in the fourth quarter. Only quarterback last week to throw 3 touchdowns in a quarter. Feeling pretty good. David Montgomery's healthy. So a knock on wood, we came out of week 1 with no injuries and the team's fully healthy and ready to go. And defensively, we're hoping to get our star free agent, Robert Quinn, to play. We'll see if that happens. But, yeah, I feel pretty good about the Bears this week.
I think it's going to be a good matchup. Now, Daniel Jones, obviously under a lot of pressure in week 1. Hopefully they open things up for Saquon Barkley in the running game. We saw Darius Slayton step up. Ingram's got to step up. He's got to catch the ball. I think they've just got to get into a groove, man. They've got to allow more time for Daniel Jones to throw the ball. I'm excited about this matchup. I really am, because I'm a Saquon Barkley owner. And again, he let a lot of people down in fantasy, having a mediocre, I think he around 12 points PPR, which is remarkable considering he barely ran for any yardage. So I think it's going to be a good matchup. I got a question for you. Is Tariq Cohen, I think that's the biggest waste of money. I know it wasn't a huge contract. I'm just not sold on him as a good player at all, but I guess they do need that depth at running back. But is David Montgomery going to fucking have a breakout game? Like when is it going to happen?
This is a good week to do it for sure, because the Benny Snell ran all over this damn Giants defense.
True.
Benny freaking Snell. So David Montgomery should be able to do whatever he wants. Now, I'm not going to say, for sure it's a breakout game, but I think he gets at least over 80 yards or a touchdown. At least something like that. So I think David Montgomery, they're going to feed him a lot this week. So I like him.
This is it, man. If David Montgomery doesn't do it, I'm just not sold on him being a good player, period, either. I mean, just do it. He is dying for a breakout run. He just needs one. So, and I want to see one. I like him. I like him a lot. All right, Faizan, you can follow me. He's the Bears ambassador, FanToFanNetwork.com. He running the Bears, knows the Bears inside out, and make sure you follow his YouTube channel as well. Faizan, always a pleasure, man. Thanks for the insight. It means a lot. All right, we got to shift over here. We're going to Atlanta and Dallas. So we're going to have JT Sports. Are you there covering Atlanta? We'll start off with you. And we got, who do we got for Dallas? We got a couple writers. We got a couple guys on for Dallas, do we not?
Yeah, me and Jay Tuck.
All right, perfect. So let's do it. Ryan, why don't we start with you since you're on? What is going on with Dallas? Let's put it this way. Neither team can go 0-2. Let's put it that way. Huge game, must win. And on paper, talent-wise, these guys have phenomenal talent. From CeeDee Lamb to Gallup to Julio Jones, who's kind of had a little bit of a hammy issue here. But how does this play out here for the Cowboys?
Well, Joe, I'm not concerned about our talent. I'm concerned about protecting Dak's blind side. Tyron Smith is officially out, and that really concerns me, especially with our right tackle being on the third string guy as well. I think Brandon Knight's going to be starting at left tackle. And last time we didn't have Tyron Smith against the Falcons, I believe it was 2017. And Adrian Claiborne had like 6 sacks against Chaz Green. That game actually got Adrian Claiborne paid. So yeah, I'm definitely a little concerned.
What's going on, JT? What do you think about Atlanta? How are they going to do?
So for the Falcons, offensive tackle Jake Matthews is going to be questionable for this game, and defensive tackle Marlon Davidson, he's going to be doubtful to play in this game. And Marlon Davidson not playing is going to be a huge blow to Atlanta's defense because, when it comes to beating Dallas Cowboys, you got to stop Zeke, and if you can't stop Zeke, you're not going to have a lot of success the majority of the time. Then Jake Matthews, if he doesn't play, that's going to be another huge blow because Dallas has a really good defensive line. Like, they got matched up against a really good LA Rams offensive line, but they were still able to get a lot of pressure. And, Atlanta, with the way they throw the football because they can't commit to the run game at all, Matt Ryan, if Jake Matthews doesn't play, it may be a long afternoon for him. He may be in turf a lot.
Man, I'm telling you, I'm excited. And I got a question for you. Is Gurley going to be integrated a little bit more? Because I just felt he was being a little bit limited last week. Well, do you think he's going to get the load?
Man, I've been telling you about this all off season, man. Look, Todd Gurley looks great in Atlanta's offense, but the thing for Atlanta is simply for the fact that they commit to running the football, which is why I was so against getting Todd Gurley. Like, he's impressive. He looked good, but he could have did better. But you want to know why he didn't? Because Atlanta just likes to throw the football. I don't think Atlanta knows that you can actually run the football in game.
They threw for like 5,000 yards in one game. It's like 450 yards. It's insane. So I'm excited about this matchup. Any way you slice and dice it, I'm excited. I appreciate you, JT. Any last words from the Cowboys? Ryan, how's this going? Ryan, how does this play out?
No doubt. I think we definitely have to run the ball with Zeke and let him do his thing because, like I said, it is going to be tough protecting Dak on the blind side. Get some quick throws out, run the ball, and I do think we should be able to control the game. Atlanta has that young secondary, and once you have them down by a little bit, they definitely give up on the run. So I still do pick Cowboys being at home with fans at the stadium.
All right, Ryan, I appreciate you, man, your insight. You are the lead writer and one of the personalities for Law Nation there on the Cowboys page of FTFN Network and JT Sports. Thank you. All right, I'm excited about this matchup, believe it or not, because I've got Aaron Rodgers in fantasy. Let's bring him on. Let's put the spiders together. But is Dosa Dion even here today?
Yeah, he is.
He is. Oh, he's always here.
I'm here.
All right, you guys go at it. I'm going to let you guys battle it out.
Dion, I want to ask you, who the fuck do they have at corner? Because they're like used car salesmen at this point. Like, who's because Akuda, it's going to be his first game. Aaron Rodgers is going to pick on him all day.
Oops.
Yeah, no, that's a great question, man. I've actually just been keeping up to date with that all week. We have about 3 guys that I'm sort of confident in. Again, I don't know what Akuda's going to do. We got Amani, who I'm confident. We got Daryl Roberts, and then after that, we just kind of have random pieces. Chris Jones just signed him.
Isn't Roberts questionable? Is he playing today?
He's questionable. He better be playing because if he's not playing, it's going to be a big problem, man. That's all I waited for all week before I made my prediction to see who's healthy. I'm just glad we're getting Okuda because if we don't, I don't know how we're going to stop Rodgers.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how he turns out. But at the end of the day, it's still Aaron Rodgers, so I think he picks on young guys all the time and usually beats them all the time. The one thing I'm worried about with the Packers here is you guys have Adrian Peterson. I know he's a former shell of himself, but he's always beat the shit out of our defense, and we don't have Kenny Clark. Kenny Clark's out for this foreseeable future, maybe a couple more weeks. I'm scared of Adrian Peterson. That guy always gave me nightmares no matter what. Dude ran like 264 on us one year as a Viking. Yeah. Crazy, just ridiculous. Kenny Clark's out. Our offensive line's a little shaky. Lane Taylor's out. Billy Turner may not play. A little bit shaky there. How's your pass rush looking?
Yeah, the pass rush. That's going to start from the secondary. I mean, that's how they build it, and unfortunately, we're injured there. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, it doesn't sound too good.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. One of our starting defensive linemen, Nick Williams, he's out for today. So we're kind of rocking with Danny Shelton. Hopefully, Flowers gets some pressure and handles start. But what you said, man, with the rushing game, Adrian Peterson may be a shell of himself, but he's probably our best running back right now. So
you can't throw to Swift, so.
My goodness, man. We drafted him for that. It's like, okay, of course. Yeah, this is great. So, yeah, I think Adrian Pearson goes over 100 yards. That's how we're going to have a chance in this one, man. We got to
Devontae's hitting over 100 again. I'm saying it again. Gotta have it happen. You guys not having Galladay is a big hurt as well.
Yeah, a lot of injuries, man. They're just piling up so early. It's crazy. It's like we're midway through the season, but we're only 1 week in and we got like 9 injuries.
I think Hawkinson has a good game. Am I wrong here, Dose?
Packers always suck against tight ends, so yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think
Hawkinson was great last week when he got opportunities. Yeah, I think he threw it like 4 times. I think he caught them all. He had a touchdown grab. I love Hawkinson. I mean, he's just tough to cover for every single team, and hopefully he does some big things as Packers. And I think that'll be set up by the rushing game.
All right, guys.
I still think Packers take this. It's in Lambeau. It's Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. Statistically, the Packers always do well at home. If Rodgers shows up, it's game over. I mean, it depends on what Rodgers you get.
Lions will keep it close, man. Look at last.
We always have tough games with you guys. Always.
Yeah, last 2 years we led every single minute. We lost by field goals in the year before, and we swept them. So it's gonna be good.
Oh, come on, you swept like Hundley. It was like Hundley and Deshaun Kaiser. Come on. And I was at the game where Mason fucking Crosby missed 5 field goals. I was there. It was terrible.
I still take it. You don't think I'm gonna take? Hey, we lost to Trubisky last week. I've taken anything I can get. All the confidence that I can grab. I'm taking it into this one, man.
Fair enough.
What prediction you got? What's your score?
Oh gosh, I got Packers by 2 scores. I don't have an official score, but I got 2 scores.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
I think that's fair.
All right. That's not fair, Joe. All right, we'll see.
All right, you guys are too nice. All right, I appreciate you guys. Dosa Dion, the national brand ambassador for the Detroit Lions, Steel City or whatever, Motor City or whatever you guys are called. And the Cheeseheads, we've got Basarowski handling the Cheeseheads over there at Fan to Fan Network. Thanks, guys, as always. Let's move on, and I'm taking over here for the Colts because that's my team, and I've got Andrew. Okay, let's not talk about Andrew Luck. I got Vikings coming on here. What's going on? Well, are you ready to go? You want to go, me?
Yeah, man. Look, this game today is very simple. This is the Kirk Cousin legend game today. If I die, I die.
Come on.
We have a replacement on the offensive line. I'm not sure how the coaching staff is going to respond. Phillip Rivers, if he goes for 300 on the defense today, Zim is in trouble. This is a big game for the Vikings, and I think every Viking fan knows how big of a game this is today. That being said, I think Cook goes for 115 plus yards combined. Thielen has a good day. Cousins has a good day. It'll just be, do we make Phillip Rivers look like Aaron Rodgers? That's what it all comes down to.
Hold on. Speaking of looking like, you look like a fucking Viking yourself. So I got to ask you directly. I got one question for you, and it's a simple question. What you going to do when Jonathan Taylor runs wild on you? What are you going to do?
It's a shootout. We'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, look, hey, the one thing I have faith in is Zim. Zim has proven himself as a defensive coordinator in this league. He is a defensive genius. If anyone can make the correction this week, it'll be him. And so, if the Vikings lose, hey, it's another year in Minnesota. What can I say?
Dalvin Cook, hopefully he stays healthy this game as well. He could break a record for most games consecutive, probably. I'm just kidding.
No, right.
Yeah, he'll be good. He'll be good. I think he'll be good. Madison's there. You guys are pretty solid. I don't know if Thielen's going to have as big of a game this week. My question to you is, will they get Jefferson more involved? I'd like to see more of Justin Jefferson.
I think if you're going to pick somebody today, it's Smith and the tight end. He had a great camp. I know camp was weird this year, but I think he had a great camp, and I think you could see the Vikings maybe go to a 2 tight end set more today and use Smith and get some good matchups. Rookie wide receivers are hard every year. We all know that, right? I mean, everybody looks great as a rookie, and then they get in their first year, and they always have that learning curve. So if I'm going with anybody today to help the Viking passing game diversify, it's Smith at tight end.
I just want to make a couple notes here for the Colts. Jack Doyle is out, so look for T.Y. Hilton to be more of a factor there. I think Pittman was a bit banged up. Campbell stepped up. He was equal targets last year with Hilton. I think it's going to be a good matchup. Jonathan Taylor now with Marlon Mack out should get a bulk of the workloads. Look for Naheem Hines to get involved in that passing game. And understand, guys, they do have a relatively easy matchup against Vikings secondary. I think Phillip Rivers has got to do well. They definitely do not want to lose this game, and I think it's going to be closer than people think. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, it is.
All right, let's move on here. Thanks, William. Appreciate it. As always, Vikings representation. Here we go. We are moving to the AFC East. And I'm telling you, man, I can't say I'm excited for this one, but there is some fantasy relevance. Let's bring on the great, the mighty Dan Mitchell to start off. And you can start, picking on the Vikings guy. I got the Vikings guy, not the Vikings guy, the Miami guy. Let's pick on him.
Oh, listen. And so Doug and we actually did a collab on my channel earlier this week. So, I mean, I think I'm going to take it easy on him. I think that, some people really can't handle that much abuse. So in all honesty, I do think the game's going to be a lot closer than people expect, man. Like that Miami Dolphins secondary is very, very good. But for fantasy perspective, Joe, and I think you will appreciate this.
I will.
Devin Singletary and Zach Moss are about to eat today, baby. They are about to be going into the Hard Rock buffet, baby. That's exactly what's happening. Passing against the secondary is going to be scary. I really see the Bills winning this game on the ground, and a lot of that's going to be a healthy mix of Singletary, Moss, and of course Josh Allen running the ball itself. As far as receiving targets, I mean, really look for Diggs and John Brown to be locked down for the majority of the day, especially going up against Xavier Howard and Byron Jones. At the end of the day, what I see is my dude Cole Beasley going off, being one of Josh Allen's number one targets, as well as Dawson Knox. And I see Doug laughing over there.
So, Doug, are you going to put up with this shit? That's unacceptable, Doug. Doug is our Miami rep fan to fan network. What do you got to say about this? I wouldn't stand for that.
Well, let me just lay this down. Their starting two linebackers are out. So as much as their linebackers might be eating, expect a heavy dose of the Miami Dolphins running game. Also, expect a heavy dose of running game in general, because I'm hearing it's going to be real rainy down in Miami with 90 degrees and a ton of humidity. So don't expect a lot of passing regardless, but expect a lot of running from both teams. Also, Joe, I know you have a big investment in this one. Mike Gesicki.
Yes.
With their starting two linebackers out, expect Mike Gesicki to get targeted a lot, as he's going to probably go up and try to take on those backup linebackers from the Buffalo Bills. But I agree with Dan. Yes, I do think it's going to be a very close game. And I don't think it's going to, a lot of people see this game after what the Dolphins did against the Patriots and think that, Buffalo is going to go down to Miami and completely beat the crap out of the Dolphins. Don't be surprised.
Who the hell? Like, I mean, Buffalo's got their shit together. They know who their running backs are. Who the hell is your running back?
Well, Myles Gaskins had a really good game.
Like, who is that?
He's been with the Dolphins for a few seasons, but he's starting to show up. Jordan Howard had his touchdown in the red zone. Expect Jordan Howard to be a big red zone threat, big bull running back. And then Matt Breida. They have to get – the thing is, the Dolphins' offensive line is still fairly new. They did fantastic in the passing. Fitzpatrick got sacked once all game last week. Need to do a little bit better in the run game, hold their blocks a little bit longer. But, again, it was week 1. 2 weeks to get ready for the season with the shortened off season. Expect this Dolphins team to get better every single week.
So final score here. I want to hear from both of you guys. I want to get some last words on this. How does this play out realistically? What's the final score here, Doug?
I'm picking the Dolphins to pull this one off in a 17-14 win. And the field goal is going to be a last-second field goal to win the game.
Look, he's being modest. Look at that. Look at the humble, honest. They're only going to win by 3. Dan, are you going to put up with that shit? He thinks they're going to win.
And so I'm thinking that the Bills end up winning this game 28-17. Now, granted, my score prediction has changed every single appearance I've made throughout the past week, but I mean, it just seems like that there's new news that's breaking as far as the Bills' overall personnel and like different matchups that I really didn't put a lot of thought into. But I mean, I'm really sticking to my guns on this one, 28-17. And some Dolphins fans, like, they're always like, oh, dude, the Bills, man, they're going to be going down to that Florida heat. But no one wants to talk about that 3/4 of the Buffalo Bills are from Florida and Louisiana. Trust me, buddy. We're going to be fine.
Well, I will say this. I'm up in Jersey right now, and it's about 50 degrees, and you guys trained in 50-degree weather. It's completely different, training in it and playing in it. So we'll see.
This is going to be one to definitely not watch. I'm not going to be watching this one. I'm going to be tuning out. No offense, guys. I just don't have any interest or stock. I mean, I have Josh Allen in one of my leagues. I got to ask you, Dan, before I let you go, we're kind of going longer on this one, but Josh Allen, should he totally feast it? Because I'm benching him for Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan, a tougher matchup against Dallas. Would you start Josh Allen? Is he going to feast?
110%. If you look at every single game that Josh Allen has played against the Miami Dolphins have been career days for him.
Wow, okay.
owns the Dolphins. He's going down to Miami and playing in Josh Allen Stadium today, baby.
Okay. That's really good insight. There you go, Josh Allen. Thank you as usual, guys. As per usual, I appreciate you guys being on. Doug Lee and Dan Mitchell. Thank you, guys. We got to move on here. We are going to the Rams, and we're going to have Zach cover the Eagles. Zach, I'm putting you on the spot. Zach, and let's start off with the Rams. Where's Trent? Where are you, Trent?
I'm right here.
I want to see Cam Akers. When's Cam Akers going to hit the field?
What are you talking about? He had 14 carries in the first game. That's not nothing.
Unacceptable.
He had 14 carries for 39 yards. Malcolm Brown had 4 more carries, but 40 more yards.
And the touchdowns.
And 2 touchdowns. So Malcolm Brown is going to be right now the red zone guy. But actually, I think the key for the Rams is just to run the ball. Because since Jim Schwartz became the defensive coordinator in 2016 for the Eagles, they've had the best run defense at 92.2 yards allowed per game in the NFL. So that's where it's really going to come to a head. Are the Rams going to still pound the rock 40 times a game? But I do see Darrell Henderson actually getting some reps in this game because they don't have tape on him. So when the Eagles are preparing for the Rams, Darrell Henderson's kind of like that wild card guy, but I expect him to get some passes. So I see the split kind of being the same in this game, but 18 carries for Brown, 14 for Akers. If Akers just runs the ball a little better, then, he should, and let's say he breaks off a couple big runs, then they're going to feature him more and he's going to pick up some more playing time. So, it's still kind of that wait and see, divide it, 3-headed monster kind of deal.
Zach, what do you got to say about that? I mean, what's going on with the Eagles? Miles Sanders making his debut. How is that going to play out?
I think Miles Sanders is going to have a good game this week. He's going to get bulk of the carries. They're saying he's 100%, which is going to be great for him. The only problem with the Eagles is health. That's becoming a factor every year for this team. Their O-line is extremely beat up, and it was torn apart last week by the Washington Redskins, or the Washington football team.
Right.
So I think that the Rams defensive line will probably have another field day. And Carson Wentz will be running for his life a lot. But I think if the Eagles are going to win, Miles Sanders is going to have a big game.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys heard any update on Devontae Freeman. I know he was working out with the team. No update on that?
I heard for that is that they worked him out. And this is just as like if they want to come back to him, if Sanders gets hurt or if one of the Boston Scott or something gets hurt, it's not for signing him now, it's for signing him in the future.
That's bullshit.
Injury happens.
That's bullshit because he's like a side bitch now. That's it. We're going to work you out, and if we need you, you can come. We don't really want to pay you now, but if we need you, we're going to make you a side bitch. I mean, for Miles Sanders, that's good, and I'd be pissed if Freeman ended up on the Eagles from a fantasy perspective.
Me too.
But, I mean, that's kind of unfair to Devontae Freeman, wouldn't you say?
I mean, he wants a lot of money, though.
That he does.
They're not going to give him that money when they have Sanders.
He does.
So Sanders go out, and then they've already worked him out there. You know what he can do. They could be the first ones to sign him. If there's 2 running back injuries, 2 teams want him. Eagles already worked him out. They're already ready. They're prepared to sign him if they need to.
That's a good point.
Yeah, but I mean, does anyone care about Devontae Freeman?
No.
I mean, this is Jared Goff versus Carson Wentz.
It is. Let's talk about it.
This is like the matchup number 2 that they've had. And the Rams are facing, Darius Slay on Robert Woods, Nickel Roby-Coleman on Cooper Kupp. So the wild card in the passing game could be Van Jefferson / Josh Reynolds against Avonte Maddox. And the Eagles are 12-6 in their last 18 home games, but the Philly fans aren't in the crowd this time. And the Rams, since 2017, have the highest road winning percentage in the NFL. So I think the Rams are going to take this one, even though Philly gets all their guys back, Lane Johnson, Miles Sanders, Barnett on the edge, but they're like an injured animal. Philly is. So I'm a little, they can't go 0-2, but they just lost to Dwayne Haskins and the Rams just beat the Cowboys. So the Rams are coming from a much better place.
I agree. All good points there. I mean, they beat the Cowboys last week. Mind you, it was a controversial ending there. And man, let's be honest here. We got to talk.
You mean the hand to Goff's face mask when he threw the interception? Are you talking about that one?
No,
that's what you're talking about, right?
I'm talking about Ramsey and the foul at the end of the game.
Yeah, but you can't pick and choose, right? Like everyone agree that Goff got Alden Smith he almost knocked Goff's helmet off when Goff threw the interception, right?
Right.
So that should have been a penalty against the Eagles and not an interception, which turned into 3 points.
I guess more
so
emphasis.
You can't just say like that one at the end, but not that one in the middle.
Well, let's be honest. It was because the game was on the line that obviously got more attention. I think that's pretty much why.
Yeah, you're right. But the Rams had more time of possession, more total yards, more third down convert. Like the Rams dominated that game, really. They just didn't convert in the red zone. So, but I see what you're saying. This is the same thing Saints fans were talking about a couple of years ago. So here we go again.
So I'm confident the Rams win this game as well. I'm not sold on Eagles even being a good team. I got some comments here on my texting saying nobody cares about the Rams. Well, Trent does. Trent cares about the Rams, and so do the Rams fans.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a team that went to the Super Bowl 2 years ago. It has the best stadium in the NFL, the best uniforms in the NFL, the best fan base in the NFL.
Wow, we're pushing it a little bit. All right.
I'm just pumped up.
I know you are. All right, Trent, we appreciate you as always. We'll see you next week. And we're going to keep Zach on here to battle it out because we're Broncos rep is not here. Unless he is here, he can come on. But let's go Zach here talking Broncos. Got a Broncos jersey on against Chiseled. Let's get Chiseled. Let's mix it up. Let's start off with Chiseled Adonis here. What's going on with the Steelers this week, man? Are they going to look good this week, or what's the prediction?
Oh, absolutely. They're going to look good. And I'm happy that Trent had mentioned that about the best fan base in the NFL, about the Rams, because that actually stays in Pittsburgh because they're the best fan base in the NFL. And we're going to have our home opener in front of nobody. We're going to open it up in Heinz Field, but I expect those guys to go out there and perform. I foresee Pittsburgh winning this game 30-17, but there's a little bit of a concern here because when it comes to Blitzburgh that we led the league in sacks each of the last 3 years, but Drew Lock, as of right now, is the hardest quarterback to sack. This guy, ever since taking over as a starting quarterback for Denver, if I'm not mistaken, he may be the least sacked quarterback in the NFL. So something's got to give. Either our pass rush is going to get there or they're going to protect their guy. I'm not too concerned about our offense because them not having Von Miller and that vaunted pass rush there, I'm not too concerned. But they did get a number of hits on Ryan Tannehill this past Monday, and Pittsburgh started very slow. So if our offensive line can take over from where they, left off in the second half, I think we can run the ball. Derrick Henry went over 100 yards. Now, Derrick Henry led the league in rushing last year. Benny Snell went over 100 last week against a very bad Giants defense. If we can at least get 80 on the ground and keep the entire playbook open for Big Ben, I expect us to be able to go up and down the field against Denver. And keep in mind, Tennessee missed 3 field goals deep inside of Denver territory last week. So I have no doubts in my mind Ben should be able to navigate that offense down the field and at least put some points on the board. I think Pittsburgh should be able to win this game comfortably.
Any objections to that, Zach?
I mean, I think this game's going to come down to whether or not Drew Lock can be the guy for Denver. If he can avoid the sacks, because the Steelers, obviously, they have an amazing front seven. They have an amazing defense. They're going to get the pressure there. Drew Lock's got to be able to recognize the blitzes, and he's got to be able to make the correct throws, maybe some checkdowns and stuff. But another thing the key for the Broncos here is going to be, can they stop Juju? And if they can limit Juju in the passing game, that takes away Ben's number one option, and it's going to make all the other guys step up. And I believe that they have great options. Otherwise, with Deontay Johnson, I think he could have a big game. But I think the Broncos are going to focus their defensive efforts on trying to double team Juju a lot. And if Juju can make some plays, that will be the difference maker there.
Yeah, and if indeed they try to go and stop Juju, I expect and I foresee the tight ends. This is going to be a huge game for either Eric Ebron or it's going to be a huge game for Vance McDonald. Because if they take Juju's been playing primarily in the slot from what I've been seeing here. So if they take a safety or they take a linebacker and they want to take like a nickel corner and they try to go and double Juju, that leaves one-on-one for either Eric Ebron or Vance McDonald. They're bigger than the defensive front four the Broncos. So I foresee a big game, at least for Big Ben throwing. He should be well over 300 yards, maybe at 400 yards for this game. Because the last time we played against Denver, we went over 500 yards of total offense and blew the entire game and could not finish. So I expect Pittsburgh not to make the exact same mistakes and walk away with a W here in week 2.
I got a question for you. Snell or Connor? I heard they're going to be splitting. That's what the recent news says.
Well, the last time that Connor played against Denver, he actually had a pretty good game outside of, fumbling the football. But I expect him to be better. But with them splitting carries, it's kind of hard to figure out who he's going to be. But Benny Snell's not really a presence in the pass game. Connor, they can dump the ball off to him. So I think I'll probably lean towards Connor.
All right, fair enough. All right, we got to move on here. Thank you, Chiseled Adonis. He's our Steelers national brand ambassador, FanToFanNetwork.com, as per usual. And I'm hoping Deontay Johnson has a big game. I got him in fantasy. Loving this guy. All right, we got to move on to the Washington football team and rise up, Red Sea. I'm getting a lot of hype around the Red Sea. I'm seeing a lot of people in the comments. So why don't we start with AZ, and then we'll talk about the Washington football team. You guys can go at it. Let's go, guys. Let's battle it out here. What's going on?
What's going on, Joe? How are we doing? Rise up, Red Sea. Everybody in the chat is pretty much Cardinal proud. I did a quick live stream, by the way, to get everybody to come on through because I knew that this opportunity was going to come.
Can I interrupt you for 1 second? One sec. Look at the swagger this guy's got after that win. That's all I got. Look at him. He's got a little more pep in his step there. You guys noticed that?
You know it, man. Especially beating the San Francisco 49ers, it just kind of gave us an extra boost, an extra ego. And honestly, I don't see anything different happening against this Washington football team. The only thing I really fear about them, to be honest with you, is going to be their D-line. Chase Young and Ryan Kerrigan. Only thing. But honestly, Cardinals got this. What you got, Ed?
What's going on? Hey, like you said, Chase Young, Montez Sweat, Ryan Kerrigan, the Bama boys up front. The defensive line is nasty, so I don't even think Kyler Murray can see over the offensive line and its defensive line. But it should be a good game. McLaurin on offense, we got to get him going. We got to get our running backs going. Gibson. This is going to be a close game. Both teams upset. We upset the Eagles. You guys upset the Niners. So I see this. I think this game's going to go to overtime. I really do.
You think? Wow, that would be amazing. Honestly, I would love nothing but that. Just obviously because I got DeAndre Hopkins on my fantasy football league. So if he gets me more catches, watch out for him, man. A lot of people didn't think he's going to have that same production, but he's got that connection with Kyler right now, and it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, you guys got some weapons. You got some receivers now and Kenyon Drake. We just got to get to Kyler. If we sack Kyler at least 3 times, I think we'll win because Kyler's 0-8-1 when he's sacked 3 times. So 3 is the magic number.
Wow. Pulling out the stats on me. Okay, quick question for you, my friend. What do you think the prediction's going to be? Because if you guys say you're going to win, I don't know about that.
I got to go into overtime. I see 26-23 field goal at the end. Dwayne Haskins makes a clutch pass to Terry McLaurin over the middle.
Wow.
Sets us up for a field goal.
I like it. He's got this laid out. I like the visualization. That's a true ambassador. He's got this right down to a T. What about you, AZ sports fan, coming off the big week?
I mean, I don't got the visualization, but I got us winning 27-14. I don't think it's going to be like, I think their defense is good, but honestly, I think that once our offense kind of gets going, it's going to be kind of hard to stop. Their D line is really good. So I agree with you. If we get some pressure on Kyler, it could probably be a different game, but I really hope that the run game is going to be a big factor with Kenyon Drake coming through, Chase Edmonds coming through. So I think it's going to look pretty dang good.
Ed, how do you stop DeAndre Hopkins? He was on a tear. Are they going to double team him? How's this going to play out?
You can't. You can't.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think you really stop him. You kind of got to stop the. You just can't let Larry Fitz go crazy. You can't let Christian Kirk get the ball. If DeAndre gets his 100 yards, I still think they're beatable. It's just about not letting Kyler run for 30 yards. And I saw last week, the refs love him. So if you hit him late or hit him 1 millisecond late, they're gonna throw a flag. They're just
you touch his hair. You even touch his hair, he's gonna throw a flag, man. Come on.
Right. So you just DeAndre Hopkins is gonna get his, but you just can't let Murray run all over the place.
Hold on, is this a thing? Why do they love Kyler? What is it? Like, does he pay the refs? Like, what's going on?
No, it's nothing to do with that. I just think that we kind of Kyler, especially that last game with the 49ers, he kind of knew how to slide the ball, and he kind of knew what was going on. I think he was begging for those flags, and they gave it to him, rightfully so. In my opinion, obviously, I'm going to be biased as heck. So, yeah, I don't think he's paying it. It's just he just knows how to play the game.
He's a baseball player, so he knows how to work the refs.
Exactly.
All right, guys. I can't say I'm really excited about this game, but I do like to watch the Arizona Cardinals offense. I'm going to be interested to watch the Washington football team's defense because I have them started in one league. So I'm excited. Yeah, I know why. I mean, actually, it's a DFS lineup. They were a good value. I had to plug in. So I hope they do well there. So thank you guys for being here. We got to move on here, and I appreciate it, AZ Sports Fan and Ed. Washington and Arizona covered. Guys, means a lot that you guys are here. I appreciate it. All right, let's move on here. Let's go to the Ravens and the Texans. Why don't we start off with our Texans guy because he's prepared. He's wearing a helmet. What is going on? And what are you wearing? Are you here, Ruben?
Well, first of all, I just want to say this is going to be a tough game for the Baltimore Ravens. But I wouldn't be Mr. Motherfucking 713 if I didn't think we could come in, we could go against these Baltimore Ravens and do what we did. Listen.
That thing is ridiculous, by the way. I got to say, it's ridiculous. That helmet is ridiculous.
No, it's not ridiculous, Joe. It's game ready, Joe. It's game ready.
Dude, that couldn't protect you from a paper bag.
No, it's all good.
It is a paper bag.
No, it's not.
Okay, all right. Let's hear it. What are we expecting from the Texans? First of all, David Johnson. To enter the contest, I'm giving away $150 to a listener if you guys go and follow Fan to Fan Network and hit done on my Instagram at Fantasy Football Counselor. $150 if he has 2 touchdowns. Doesn't matter how he gets them. I don't care. 2 touchdowns, David Johnson, $150. Go follow at Fantasy Football Counselor and Fan to Fan Network. How does this play out here, Ruben? Please tell us.
So this is how the Houston Texans are going to beat the Baltimore Ravens. They're going to be focusing on David Johnson, and they're going to be using that outside run, which the Baltimore Ravens had a hard time going against the Browns last week with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt getting over 140 yards. Also, we're going to have to open the playbook. Tim Kelly last week played scared. He played like he was just a regular college tight end coach. So
let him play scared. Let him play scared against Baltimore. See what happens, my friend. Listen, Mr. 713, I love you, man. I love you, Mr. 713. I love Houston. I love Deshaun Watson. I have nothing but respect for you guys. But you and the counselor are going to need some counseling because David Johnson ain't doing jack shit today. I'll tell you that right now. The Ravens defense is going to absolutely shatter your dreams.
Hell no. Hell no. Because the Houston Texans for the past 2 years have been 10-2 after coming off a loss. That means they're able to adjust. Look, Baltimore, they're good, but we got something. We got Deshaun, Michael Jordan Watson, and he's going to come out today. Nobody plays better on prime time.
Mr. 713, I know you don't like to talk about this, but let's not forget about last year, my friend. You had a week, 2 weeks to prepare. You had your bye week, and we still beat you 41-7. You have 3 days of extra time to prepare. It does not matter. Give Bill O'Brien a year to prepare for the Ravens. He will not be ready. It does not matter. Lamar is coming. I'm telling you right now.
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that because it's a brand new year. It's 2020, baby. Deshaun's coming. Mr. Stash, he's coming. My mustache is coming. Well, Houston Texans are going to win this game.
In Houston's defense here, I mean, the defense is going to be tough against the run. Obviously, they're going to play David Johnson hard, and there's no denying that. But I got to tell you, I think they kind of came into their own near the ending of the game, and they're playing a team that put up a lot of points. If they could just neutralize Baltimore a little bit, they could put up some points, and this could be a close game.
Absolutely agree. What you need to do is keep Lamar Jackson on the sideline. Don't try to go for the home run ball. Hit the dink and dunks like you did when you scored the first touchdown with David Johnson. They gave the ball to 4 different receivers, a tight end, and then hit them with a 19-yard touchdown. If they do that and actually game plan, and keyword game plan, then the Houston Texans have a shot.
I don't see it, man. Sorry.
I see it. I
think we're gonna win fairly comfortably, man. I got to be honest with you.
Well, we're gonna have to see. The defense will definitely win it. All right, so that's tight end here. Atkins, is he gonna get worked a lot here today? Tight end?
Sir. Yes, sir. In practice, he was Deshaun Watson's favorite target. They tried the Darren Fells experiment, and he was just a one-hit wonder. Fells is the best tight end for the Houston Texans with yards after the catch.
Or Atkins, you mean? Atkins, right? Atkins or Fells is the best.
I'm sorry. They tried with Fells, but Jordan Akins is going to be the starting tight end, and he's going to get a lot of stuff. Attack those safeties. Attack them because Jordan Akins is going to show out.
All right, Ruben, Joe, I appreciate it. The ambassadors for Texans and Ravens.
Until I drown.
We appreciate you guys as per usual. It means a lot. Follow them on the page. They've got their own pages set up at FanToFanNetwork.com. All right, let's move on here. The Chiefs. We got Ryan and we got our writer Matt covering the Chargers. Let's start off with Ryan and I don't know who's coming on. Is Ryan coming on for the Chiefs?
I am.
All right, what's going on, Ryan? I mean, you guys on paper actually technically do have a tough matchup.
Yeah, and historically it's been one that is back and forth. The Chiefs have been a little bit on a tear. Since Andy Reid came to town, they've been dominating the AFC West, and it's been a bit of a run, but this is two teams that just don't like each other, and they play each other tough, and they've got a lot of talent, especially as you look at what the Chargers have been able to do with their defense coming up against the most prolific offense that we have in the NFL.
So how does this play out, man? I'm really curious. Well, let's hear the Chargers' point of view here. Matt, how does this play out from your end?
Well, I mean, look, I've been a Chargers apologist since the beginning of the season. I was talking to you earlier about, Tyrod Taylor is going to do great things for the Chargers. But before I go on, I got to give a shout out to JT, because me and him went head to head last week. He had the Bengals over the Chargers, and I made the outlandish statement that the Chargers offense was able to score 28 points. Boy, was I wrong. And I see JT, because we're on a Zoom call, I see him nodding his head because he knows he's right. And I gotta say, that offense played absolutely terrible last week. And the only reason why they won that game was because Randy Bullock shanked a field goal and then pulled a calf. But I mean, you look at how good Kansas City looked against the Texans in week 1, and because the Chargers don't have Derwin James, it's hard for me to pick any sort of way that the Chargers are going to be able to win this game. I mean, they only had 144 rushing yards combined last game, and Austin Eckler still has yet to really cement himself as a number one back there. Kansas City is just too good. They're too good. The only way that I could actually see the Chargers coming away with this game here is if Kansas City makes mistakes. And we saw in week 1 that they are just not going to make any mistakes. The only mistakes that they might be able to make is that Tyreek Hill isn't the primary target.
Wow. Yeah, they are solid, man, all around. I mean, defensively, not as solid, but that offense, when you put up 1,000 points a game, how do you catch up?
It's a tough one, and something, honestly, that I think the Chargers, if it wasn't for the injury bug, this would be a completely different conversation, obviously, with Derwin, but also the fact that it's just an evolution for that team constantly. And I think what it comes down to today is whether Tyreek Hill's going to get double deep, they're going to play their normal cover 3, if they're going to go to like kind of a 4 look, which I could anticipate as well. I think the bottom line is this is going to be about the tight ends in the passing game, because you've got rookie Ken Murray trying to guard Travis Kelce. Hunter Henry's been, I think, looking good for him so far, and the Chiefs are a little bit thin at the linebacker position. So you can see some things down the middle. I like Eckler, and I think if they can get him loose, he's had some success against the Chiefs in the past game before, and we'll see if Clyde Edwards-Helaire actually gets thrown the ball this week.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. I like watching the fantasy aspect of the Chiefs. But again, the big question comes every week, who's getting the ball? Is it going to be Hardman? Is it going to be Pringle? Is it going to be Tyreek? Who knows? There's just too many mouths to feed. And they do a good job from a realistic point of view, but not so good for fantasy. Unless your guy goes off, obviously, and you started him. So, Ryan, always a pleasure, man. He is the national brand ambassador for the Chiefs Fan-to-Fan Network. And, Matt, why don't we we're going to come back to Matt with the news and notes. And we also got, in the wings, we got Scott Fields here. He's going to be talking about the injuries. So stay tuned, guys, for fantasy. We're going to be talking about some injuries here. Let's move on to the Patriots and Seahawks. Why don't these guys go at it? Guys, let's let loose here. This is going to be a good matchup, I think.
Woo, man, I am so excited. I've been waiting this time to be able to talk about this game, but man, best game of the weekend. Are you kidding me? Seahawks, Patriots, prime time in Seattle, baby. The only thing unfortunate is I can't be at that game.
I know.
But man, I'm so excited about this. I know Patriots Global, we did a little collab earlier this week, so I can't wait to get into this game, man.
Hold on, I got to say something before we get into this. We might go on overtime, but that's okay. It's worth it. Russell Wilson saying he is the best quarterback in the game, and we should bring Ryan back on this and have a separate debate, but I'm gonna say yes, he is. What do you think?
I'm not gonna You're
not gonna argue it.
I heard the quote, man, and of course, I gotta take everything out of context. And he was asked, "Oh, do you think you're the best quarterback in the game?" What's he gonna say? No, I don't think I am.
Yeah, obviously.
I think he's proven that he is. Now, of course, every week that could change, but so far he started out of the gates against the Falcons. NFC Offensive Player of the week. Could have been even better if not for a couple of drops. But so far, I love what I'm seeing. They're letting Russ cook, baby.
What do you got to say about that, Patriots Global, Colby?
I mean, I've always been a Russell Wilson fan. You know, we said this on my collab on my channel earlier this week. I'm a big Russell Wilson fan. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks, period, in the NFL, even all time. I have him on my fantasy team, which kind of sucks for me this week. Kind of which way am I panning towards? Am I panning towards getting the win? Am I panning towards trying to get the W fantasy-wise? It's a tough one. I'll probably lean towards getting the W for my actual team rather than my fantasy team. But yeah, stopping Russell Wilson, I think that is going to be the big thing. Like Norb said, you can't let Russ cook. I think that's the ultimate way to win this game. You know, that offensive line the Seattle Seahawks have doesn't really worry me. The secondary, the defense they have doesn't really worry me. What essentially has me on the edge is the receivers and 100% Russell Wilson. What Wilson is able to do with the ball is unlike any other quarterback in the NFL. The IQ he has, the ability to scramble and get outside the pocket, create plays with his legs, extend plays with his leg, but really having that pinpoint accuracy and just really good throw power down the field. The Patriots defense has to do their job, and they've been doing that in practice this week. They actually had UDFA cornerback Miles Bryant promoted to the 53-man roster, and they had him actually kind of simulating Russell Wilson and scrambling out of the pocket and trying to get the Patriots defensive linemen to come after him and tackle him. So they're definitely really trying to get ready for Russell Wilson, and even to go off of, you know, Russell Wilson is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Dude, you're in love with Russell Wilson. What about Cam?
I do. I mean, I love Russell Wilson. Look, and while I do love Cam Newton, Cam Newton is not Russell Wilson. I think that Cam Newton is going to have a good game. Cam Newton's going to have a good game. Cam Newton is going to play well. Cam Newton is definitely an underrated quarterback. I don't think he is respected enough. Especially now that he's playing with the Patriots. Say what you want about him when he was playing with the Panthers. That's understandable. But now he's with the Patriots. It's a whole different monster. But look, he isn't going to be Russell Wilson. He doesn't have the pinpoint accuracy down the field. He doesn't have the arm. And I think that's what separates these two quarterbacks. But, you know, that's what the Patriots have to do. They have to really stop Russell Wilson. If you contain Russell Wilson, then you can come out with this W.
Man, I thought if I'm listening to you, I feel like I'm listening to a Seahawks fan. Seahawks fans in this house, man. First of all, you can't simulate Russell Wilson in a practice. Go ahead and try, but you're not going to be able to do it. Secondly, you said you're not worried about the Seahawks defense. Do you remember a guy by the name of Jamal Adams? He was only the second best player on the field last week against the Falcons. Russell Wilson tore it up on the offensive side. Jamal Adams was a one-man wrecking crew on the defensive side of the ball. He's going to come after Cam Newton, shut down whatever threat he might have. And that's going to force him to throw the ball. He's not going to be able to run it. And like you said, he does not have pinpoint accuracy. And that's going to open it up to one of the best secondaries, revamped secondaries in the league in the Seahawks. I'm not going to say it's the Legion of Boom, but we are a lot better at the secondary than we were in many years before. So I think we've got a lot of this ends of this game.
Score prediction.
I'm glad to see that you're such a big supporter of us. You and I both.
Well, I do like Russell Wilson. He's probably the biggest, and I can't say only playmaker because you have Jamal Adams. And while Jamal Adams had a great game, he isn't going to be some type of, he's not going to be your defense. You got that dub last week against the Falcons. That's great. It was a great game all around, but you're talking about the New England Patriots now, the best coaching staff in the league. What are the Patriots known for? Taking away your best weapon. This isn't going to be a game where Jamal Adams is like going off getting 2 sacks, an interception, 20 tackles. It's not going to be a game like that. The Patriots know how to take him away. And you know what? That's the thing. The Patriots ran the ball extremely well last week, but that's how they schemed it. Everyone's trying to say that the Patriots aren't going to do well in the passing game. Well, I think this is a run-first team. At the same time, if the Patriots have to throw the ball, they're going to make it work. And everybody said that the Patriots weren't going to win against the Dolphins. Patriots won against the Dolphins, and now everyone's saying, well, it's just the Dolphins. Everyone's always underestimating the Patriots, and you know what? That just is more fuel to the fire for the team. So my score prediction for this is going to be 24-28.
And how about you, Norb? What's the score prediction?
A It's always a revenge game. We own this series, except for the game that everybody remembers.
Oh, yeah, we won the big one.
Actually, 2-1, has not lost a regular season game against Bill Belichick and the Patriots. 28-24, Seattle wins this one. In a relatively
Oh, my God, we had the same score, but backwards.
All right, guys. National brand ambassador here for the Patriots. That's a huge nation there. Colby, make sure you guys follow him, Patriots Global, and make sure you follow Norbcam, huge Seahawks diehard ambassador and fan. So thanks, guys. Going to be a good matchup. I'll be looking forward to this one. All right, that wraps it up. Monday Night Football. We're going to be doing a show tomorrow. We got to go into now news, guys, and of course injuries as well. So let's start off with the news. Matt, anything in the news here that we need to cover?
Yeah, absolutely. So it was mentioned earlier that Chris Godwin is going to be out today with a concussion. That's going to be very prevalent, especially with Tampa Bay trying to make a rebound. The New Orleans Saints are going to be out with Michael Thomas as he suffered an injury last week. So look for his receivers to really have to step up there. Maybe Emmanuel Sanders gets a couple more targets. For the Raiders, they have rookie Henry Ruggs listed as questionable. We went on to say earlier that the Bills would be without their two starting linebackers, Tremaine Edmonds and Matt Milano. Look for Terrell Dodson and AJ Klein to step in there. And we saw a really interesting development with Allen Robinson and the Chicago Bears throughout the week. It was noted that Allen Robinson really started to distance himself from the team, deleting references to the Bears on his social media. So he felt a little disrespected by the Bears franchise, as he really has not been engaged in any contract extension talk. And it looks like the Bears are going to try and fork up some money, and they've started discussions with him. That kind of comes on the heels of them signing an extension to their running back, Tariq Cohen. He signed a 3-year extension worth $17.25 million with $5.7 million per year, with incentives that could come up to $18.25 million at $6.093 per year. So a lot of stuff going on. Really big thing is going to be injuries. Again, we saw a lot of players leave games last week, a lot due to hamstring injuries, and Scott the Doc talked a lot about those soft tissue injuries, and it'll be interesting to see if we lose any other big stars this week.
All right. Yeah, Scott should be coming in a moment here. So let's start off with the injuries here, moving quick. I think he's coming on. Yeah, I think he's coming in now. So let's start off with the injuries here. I don't know if you know much about it before. I think there he is. He's coming in now. So I want to talk about the key injuries here, and we're going to pull them up. So thanks for the news and notes there, Matt. I appreciate it. So let's move on here. He's just loading up. Scott, are you there? He's just connecting.
Yes, sir.
All right, Scott, a lot of injuries to talk about here. Galladay being out, Godwin. Oh man, it's bad.
I know. All right, I'm going to try to go through this as quick as I can, guys, because it's quite the list this week.
Yeah.
Inactives. These guys are out. They are not playing. Saints wide receiver Michael Thomas, ankle. He's probably going to be out another 1 to 2 more weeks. It's a pretty rough injury, and he really just needs to rest it and get a little bit of rehab on that. Titans wide receiver A.J. Brown, knee injury. He's out this week. Bucks wide receiver Chris Godwin, still in the concussion protocol, going to be probably back next week. Galladay, the Lions wide receiver, out with a hamstring. Same thing, going to take about 1 to 2 more weeks to get him back on the field. Jets wide receiver Jamison Crowder, same thing, a hamstring. Look for another 1 to 2 weeks. These are all just grade 1 hamstring strains. You're looking at 2 to 4 weeks total. These guys are prime athletes getting rehab every day, so you're looking closer to the 2-week range. Jaguars wide receiver D.D. Westbrook, shoulder. He's probably going to be out 2 to 3 weeks. This injury was a little bit more substantial. Next, moving on to the running backs. Jets running back Le'Veon Bell, hamstring injury again. With hamstrings on the running backs, probably going to take a little more. You're looking at 1 to 2 weeks for the wide receivers, but running backs, because they're such bell cows and they're just running every play, it's probably going to be closer to 2 to 3 weeks on Bell. Broncos running back Phillip Lindsay, he's got turf toe. Look for him to be back in about 1 to 2 weeks. Turf toe can be a nagging, lingering injury that lasts the whole season if not treated properly. We remember a couple of years back, Jeremy Shockey for the Giants had it. He was in and out every 2 or 3 weeks. He just couldn't get it fixed. So that's an injury to kind of keep an eye on, especially for a running back who's using those feet so much to plant and cut. Chargers running back Justin Jackson, he had a quad strain. Same thing, 2 to 3 weeks on him. He should be back. Last but not least, tight ends. George Kittle out this week for the 49ers, should be back next week. Colts tight end Jack Doyle, ankle injury, should be back probably 2 to 3 weeks on him. A couple of question marks here. These are guys that are listed as questionable. We'll go through whether or not we think they're going to play or not. First up, Giants wide receiver Golden Tate. He is likely out. He's got a hamstring injury. I don't think he's going to play this week. Texans running back Duke Johnson had an ankle sprain, also likely will not play this week. Seahawks wide receiver Philip Dorsett, he is likely out with a foot injury. Dolphins wide receiver Devontae Parker will likely play. He might be one to avoid, though, because of either play count or if he just feels like the pain's too much and he can't play through.
I heard he's active.
He is going to play. He's
Yeah.
going to play. But like I said, maybe one to just kind of keep an eye on. If you've got to start somebody and you need him, then go for it. But definitely could be one that could be on a limited play count, or he's just going to have to play through the pain. Broncos wide receiver Cortland Sutton will play. Again, it's one of those things where he's just got to kind of play through the shoulder pain. The shoulder pain, I think, was just a grade 1 strain, so he should be fine. Good to go this week. And then Raiders wide receiver Henry Ruggs, he's going to be a knee injury. He'll probably play as well. It's a Monday night game, so he's got a little bit extra time to rehab. I think he'll be all right to play. Again, he may be on a light play count. That's it for the injuries this week. Follow Fan to Fan Network for all your injury updates. Live stream it on Twitch. Can't wait to see what happens in this week, guys.
All right, Scott, as usual, thank you very much for being here. We appreciate it. So that's it, guys. That wraps it up, our game day tailgate. I got to go edit my lineups and reply to some people. Man, my DM gets inundated on Sunday mornings, guys. Thank you for being here. Guys, join us every Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, and we are out. Good